Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Liverpool FC Toronto show, episode 18. But it's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been back, and quite a bit of stuff has happened. Not that you need to, but let's go with the introductions. I'm here with Mr. Dan Fernandez. What's up, mate?
Hello, how are you?
And Mr. President himself, Jake. How's it going, Jake?
Another day in LFC paradise. Love it.
Well, it actually was. Today things got heated up, but we'll save that a little bit later because we do have a few things to talk about. Before we get into anything, though, Jake, what's happening on June the 28th? I hear that there's something happening.
Oh yes, our AGM. So we have a lot of things planned for that day. So we're going to have some appetizers for the members. We're going to review our financial summary, our metrics from social media, our member metrics, and a few other details, our charity dynamic as well. So we'll give you a lay of the land of what we completed this year, what we tried to do, a forecast for next year, and some updates, and some things we have planned and potentially. And so we'll give you a lay of the land of that. And so please implore you, if you're a member, please come down. We'll feed you a little bit. Join the party and just listen to us, and it's really good. We need to get your direction and feedback, which will help us to do our planning. There's also the elections, right? So if you want to be a part of the board, you want to run for a position, please go to our website, apply accordingly, put your name in the hat, and then we'll add you to the list, and we'll go from there. So please do come. We have 760 members. So please do come, and it's crazy, the numbers. And so please do come. We have lots of things planned. So your voice is needed, and join us and let us hear your voice.
So just on that for a second, you just said a number. I know we came out of COVID. I know COVID was affecting things, and I know the team absolutely smashed it this year. But where were we this time last year? Like, what was the number?
Well, last year we didn't really have much because of COVID, let's say, for argument's sake, but we had metrics this year. I'll give you an example. This year we're coming out of COVID and the 2.5 years of pandemic, we just said, let's just try it, 250 paid members, and that's going to be our goal. And that came and went probably within the first 2.5 months of the hard work that everyone's done, the social media, the team, the exec, everyone's, Sam, Reagan, Dam, yourself, Evie, Sharif, the whole group. And we realized, we're almost at 500. And let's try to do 500 basically as our stretch goal. And subsequently from that time, which we just did that in the new year, December, January. And then of course the team went on a tear. And as a result of that, being in all the 4 competitions, the word was, the euphoria was building, the excitement was building at all the places. And as a result of that, in the tail end of this year, we had 760 paid members, which is the most we've ever had. And again, I just want to say that is just scratching the surface. We've got some vendor things. We've got some trips planned. There's a whole plethora of things which are going to drive this to a different level. Anyways.
LFC
Toronto. Just really proud of this club, man. Just really proud of this club. And the executive team and not just executive, so I'm saying like the entire organization of LFC Toronto. I think we just smashed it out of the park. This year was a trial year for a lot of things, obviously coming out of COVID. But as Jake said, for us to go from literally, I wouldn't say zero, because the prior regime have done a lot, but there was a break there. But from going from that to 760, granted the team did really well. We put on a lot. We did a lot of stuff this year. So hopefully members are happy, and they come and voice that at the AGM.
Amazing. Nice little mic drop there, Mr. Dan Fernandez.
Yes.
So I think as the summer pans out, we'll get into reviewing the season a little bit more and also looking forward to next season. But we just have to bookend the season by saying, yes, we know there was a bit of a terrible 6 days. Day 1 and day 6 were terrible. The 5 days in between were fine because we were looking forward to our big night in Paris. But we can't have those first 17 episodes of euphoria and just being on a high week in, week out. And that's literally what it was. There was very little flatness. I think there was a sense of flatness after the Tottenham game, but right after it, there was a Champions League game. So we didn't even feel that. But we just have to call out the fact that, one Sunday in May and the following weekend, a Saturday in May, we lost 2 of the 4 cups we were going for. And it is what it is, still unbelievably proud of the team. I think you both know this, and anyone who knows me knows this. I'm never prouder of Liverpool than when we lose, to be honest with you. Like, it's so easy to be part of a winning thing, and that's where the whole bandwagon culture and stuff comes from. But like, I feel like I love this team even more because of the nearly moments. What do you guys think about the league and the Champions League and the way it ended?
I think that's a great point, and that's a great view in which you wrap the season around. Like, just putting it into perspective, it's literally two games, 2 goals, you could even say, from a quadruple. I mean, like, so just putting that into perspective. But even deeper than that, it's like looking at what Jurgen said. It's very trite. I know it's very, very fairy tale, but it is the journey. It is the journey, and that journey for us was bigger than that 1 week, right? So that 17 weeks or whatever you were saying, the entire season really, as opposed to that one bad. Well, I don't say bad. It was. I was still proud of them for the way they played, the performances in both. Ideally it would have gone the other way, but one thing that really sticks out to me is like rival fans sort of like, jumping on, you know what, you just won those, whatever cups and, like the domestic, like, it's like, they're still trophies and they still count. And they're still like what every other team wants to win, no matter whatever anybody says. They're still, I mean, Tottenham has, haven't had a trophy in so long, right? I mean, Everton, don't even talk about them, but putting it all in perspective, I think once all the dust settled and then that parade just showed how much this team meant to everybody, and that was something. So great points, and I'll reserve some thoughts for the final, but I'll let Jake go.
I think that I don't really care about other teams, like I don't, and kudos to how everything played out in the end, in terms like Bill tried hard, the team tried hard. And it just because like the cut of the grass here, the cut of grass here, this whatever else, it was very, very close in the end. We remember being at the Madison at that time, and just the house is packed, and with just the anticipation and what's happening, and we're watching 2 games at the same time. We've done our part, what's happening, and then going down to like we're playing against a world-class team, Real, and that's happening, and literally. For that day, Courtois has, the game of his life, and he stands on his head. And then just like, reflecting on the entire year as a whole, and seeing, you've got 10-year-old kids like Lawson, you've got people from all around the world coming together. You have all these things, and this club did all of those things on a different level, right? I met like literally 700 people that I like literally never met before. And we brought them all together. This team brought them all together. And, yes, if you're going down to like, we're talking about the cups and like people don't look at the cups. Well, say that to Chelsea. Like, you think Chelsea doesn't care that they lost 2 finals? They feel what we felt in the 2 moments that we've came close to the Prem and we've lost that Champions League. You think they're not, they tried really hard. They had a great season. They pushed hard, but they're feeling that pain as we are. So it means a lot and every football player just wants to be in those competitions, and we're in everything we could be. 63 matches, 46 wins, 13 draws, 4 losses, 147 goals that we scored, like literally, So in theory, as a fan, I remember us being in this kind of stead in a long, long time, to have, week in and week out, like playing for something, like really, really, really playing for something, which is, as a fan and our fan base, that is all we care for. And again, you're talking, Dan, of course, about those rival fans. I couldn't give a shit about the other fans and their teams. But, they're rent free. Like, we are in all of their heads constantly. And then, as you said, when looking at that Champions League championship, like the Prem Champions parade at Man City, and having literally 100 people, or 5,000 or whatever it was, and then looking at this and feeling like what that city was like. And we weren't there, like I wasn't there, but I could feel that, and seeing that corridor of people. I couldn't imagine how many. And you see those drones, people on top of the buildings to catch that viewpoint, and you're like, holy shit, like seriously, and
special
you were in Paris, right? You were in Paris, you were in the park, as Azu, you were part of that. Like, it felt like 30,000-40,000 people in that park. Like, imagine, right? And so we live, again, rent, but I'm very proud of this team for everything, and to every single player that played, Taki, Divock, Harvey, like Simi, like every single person played a role, like, and before that, Ali, Williams, Nat, like everybody played a role, right? And how can you not love that from our team?
You know what though, the and I totally am. I'm 100%, or I would say 99.9% on board with everything you said. That 0.1% is more of not. Forget about rival fans. Forget about all that stuff. I'm just thinking of just my own affiliation with Liverpool, and just my own selfishness with wanting us to be the best, and like always thinking that we're the best, and in the way that we deserve the best because of the performances that we put in and the consistency we have. And that's where there's a lingering taste for me, where we could have. I mean, I'm not saying the quadruple. I like that. That was ridiculous. But the one that bugs me the most is actually the Champions League final, and it's the reason why is because, and you guys tell me, Azaz, please, I'd love to know what you think about this, but it had a weird feeling, the result, but also the lead up to it. So in that week, or even the couple of weeks after we knew the Villarreal result, there was almost like a feeling of, and Mo sort of charged it a bit with his, bring them on kind of thing, but it kind of felt like we knew we were good enough to win. And we as a fan base have always had that doubt, generally like a more doubt than belief, in that we have to play really, really well for us to get a result. But this time it felt different, because it felt like Real were really not that great, put it like that. And then the match played out, and they weren't that great. There was okay, one offside and everything, but then the one chance, fine. But I still felt like a weird sense of like we just didn't play our best, and that was a dominating performance that we had. I mean, we had 24 chances and all that kind of stuff, whatever, all that. But I didn't feel like we weren't firing, and that's the thing that got me the most out of the whole thing. Like, whereas like in 2018 when we lost to Real, that obviously the Mo and the lack of depth and all those kind of factors played in our first appearance in a long time. This one was like, we're seasoned. We've won it before. We won 2 trophies on the bounce. It felt like something was missing, and I think the biggest reason was we played so many matches. We played like 7-8 matches, and we were just going. We didn't. I think we ran out of steam a little bit, and that's Liverpool running out of steam. Like, we're still dominating the match, and we're running out of steam. So could you imagine if we were like full steam? If you know what I'm saying, they would have been wiped out. So anyway, I that's the sort of lingering disappointment. But I would never put it on our guys or play. I personally have let that feeling go on that day, but on that day I had a bit of that feeling, and let's just being honest.
Yeah, I can echo some of that. I think you both captured so many different emotions really well. For me, the big lingering thing is I don't, like, to Jake's point, I don't give a shit about the other fan base. I will know what no one will ever do to me is rewrite this season from the end backwards. Like,
right,
you can't do that. Like, well, you can if you want to, but like, I will never live this season from like the last game and then the second to last game and look at it backwards. Like, we documented it on this show, and like the three of us and our whole Toronto FC family were together almost every week, living each moment, step by step by step. Saturday or Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday. Like, and you can never take that away from us. Like, you can sit there and like laugh because we fell at the last hurdle and like all that stuff, or like even some people in our own fan base, like you know, we know that there are certain sections of our fan base that are never happy and never satisfied. But like with me personally, it's like I will never, that narrative of this season will never be unwritten in any other way. And you know, just to get more deep, like on a life level, like people really struggled over the last couple of years with different things. And you know, like Liverpool for us, unlike what other teams weren't able to give other people who were also suffering real life things, Liverpool was like the ultimate relief, and none more so than from January to May this year. You know, like I remember, like I changed jobs, for example. Like starting a new job is ranked as one of the most stressful things in the world. Like, you know, as well as like illnesses and mortgage, like, you know, like it's what, but like they helped me through it. Like every time I'd be like, I'm not getting it, I'm drowning, like, you know, like this is happening, I'd be like, oh well, there's a game in 2 days, you know, and it's like straight away, like I would start to think about
it picks you up.
And then I would start to think about this show, and then I would start to think about who I'm going to see on Saturday, like at the Maddie, and you know, like it's just, they'll, like, you will never be able to quantify what this team gave to us this year. And like if the cups don't show it, we still know it in our heart of hearts that, like,
I agree,
what they gave us.
It's so well put.
Yeah, well put. And then about the disappointment, 100%, I agree with that. I think that the crazy thing is we were better than Real Madrid, and we are better than Real Madrid. You know, like AC Milan were better than us in 2005. They were. They're a way better team than us in 2005. We won. It's our Champions League. You know, we kept it. We got the fifth one. Like, but like we're better than Real Madrid, and like, sure, you know, let's go again, and they can go buy all the young French kids that they want, and like it's fine. You know, like this time next season, I know because of Jurgen that like we'll be in the race for, and we might not be in the race for 4. It might not even be 3. But like we're gonna have another amazing season and another amazing journey, and I'm ready for it. I'm just ready to go. And sorry, last thing, guys, before I say one more thing, you know, I'm really disappointed about is that we don't have an American tour this year, because like I just think the momentum that we as a fan club have, like I think we would have literally taken 60, 70, 100 people straight down together. And that would have been an epic way to end this season for us as an LFC family in Toronto.
For those of us who went to Michigan, that was it after the Champions League?
2019. Yeah, it was 2019.
What's the 20? No, it was 2018. I remember it was 2018 summer.
Then there was 2019 as well.
Yeah, that was 2019, but this was actually the season before.
The first one. Yeah. There was back-to-back summers. Yeah, because there was United was 2018, the one you're thinking of. Yeah.
That's right. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. And that had a magical flavor to it, put it like that. A lot of brisket in the air, a lot of people rolling on grounds, a lot of different things. But no pun intended, a lot of good
a lot of things
anyway, but no, you're absolutely right. I think and you think about it, we've grown so much, it's just going to scale that way. People and the team's doing so well, so that would have been magical. Hopefully it's going to happen soon. We'll see.
Listen, I'm always touting us, right? Like when I'm talking to all of my execs all around the world and to Liverpool, I'm saying they are missing an opportunity in Toronto specifically and Canada.
100%.
I think we have thousands of fans here you're just not tapping into. But I think that even more so with the efforts that we put around on social media and our events and our membership, it's just scratching the surface, and they can't ignore us, right? They're going to see us. You know, many of us will be in Anfield next year. There's going to be a lot of things happening, so they can't continue to ignore us. Like they're going to miss out. But anyways, those are things that we are working on for the future. So it looks good for us.
Amazing. So you know what? It just feels good to be back on the saddle. All right, like we had a couple of weeks off, and I feel like the summer's going to unfold as it is, and on a weekly basis we'll be able to do a bit of season review. I think we get more guests back on to like do the season piece by piece, maybe in like 3 or 4 parts, and then we can also do transfers as and when they happen. But we do have some business to address as well. Myself and Jake can talk about Taki and Origi, and then someone else is just going to have to talk about potentially, it's only potential at the moment, the other one.
I'm just need a second.
So Dan, we'll start with you. What do you think about, do you think Sadio will leave? Do you think Bayern will cough up? Or do you think, like, how do you see that playing out?
I hate to say this, and I've been holding on to the slim belief that everything is just going to renege and he's going to resign at a higher wage, keep him here. I don't think it's about wages. Honestly, I think it's a foregone conclusion. I'm that person on this call that had that sign in the parade, Sadio, please stay. Like that's the equivalent of me right now.
It really is
on this call and in this thing. So honestly, he's been my favorite player since he joined. Number one, not like nobody even close, including the man on my background here. But I think Bayern's going to pony up. Nagelsmann really likes, obviously, his pressing, his instinct, everything about Sadio as a player and a man. So I think it's going to happen. It does open up some funds for other things, right? So we're pretty good at recruiting, and Jurgen's pretty good at managing and developing players. So, but it just hurts. It hurts. It hits right at the core. I still have his number 19 signed from that Michigan trip, from the Michigan. And by the way, shout out to RJ for pushing through and actually like coaxing me to go get it. But yeah, I'm going to be framing that one, and hopefully one day, Jake and his ass, he may visit as a player to our club as a legend, because he is a legend.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it. Won everything that you could win. Had the mentality to carry us at times, like his compadre Mo, who probably did a little bit more, but let's say. But he's going to come. He's going to be welcomed. He's going to be rejoiced by all of us. So just a sad day when that does eventually happen.
Okay.
I think that the latest news is Liverpool's thinking they want a £42.5 million offer. Yeah. That's what they're looking for. If they don't get it, I think they're just going to eat it, and he's going to stay. I think that right now Bayern is nickel and diming. One interesting thing is though that like Leva right now, Lewandowski right now is kind of saying that like he's kind of alluding to Mane, you don't really want to go there, which is an interesting like narrative on the side as well, which is very interesting because that's star to star kind of dynamic. I do echo the sentiments with respect to Mane. Mane is just a beast, and like when I always think of him going to Bayern, I just think of that turn when he just made that goal, right? Like that was the move. Like, and he just literally shimmied them. They all went one way. He put it in the corner, and like we were victorious. Like, and so I love Mane as well. I've got some of his kids. He's just a gentleman. He's just. I wonder sometimes if he's just because he's been in Mo's shadow here and there when Mo came.
That's what I think too.
That he wants to be the leader. I don't know. Again, I don't know who the makeup is of Bayern anymore. Who if Leva leaves, who's the next guy? I don't know if it's Davies. Davies the guy. I don't know who's the next person.
It would be Mane. It would be Mane though.
I mean,
in terms of who's there now, right now, who would take that if Mane? Like who's next in line? If Mane's not
leaving, and who else is there? I mean, Lewis.
Apparently,
Mueller's still there.
Happy.
Gnabry's gonna leave too. Anyways, I know they're in a little bit of a transitional dynamic, but I do respect Sadio. He's owed his decisions. If he wants to go, he wants to go. I don't know how this is going to really play out. Will they pony up the cash? They have the money. Will they pony up the next, cash? Because they're talking euros and they're talking about what? Like 20 something with 4 million, like, add-on, and the add-ons are like, oh, if Bayern wins the Champions League, if Bayern does this and Bayern does this,
it's if
Bayern, Sadio has to win Ballon
3, right? If Bayern win 3, Champions Leagues, and Sadio wins 3 Ballon d'Ors.
What kind of shit is that? Like, who negotiates that? Like, I get what they're trying to do, but like, are you? Anyways, so that's just a poor. I do have that hope that he's going to have this turnaround, because I do like the other players that are referencing as well, like Emery Chan saying, like, listen, the grass is not greener sometimes, right?
Well,
And he's saying that.
Well, look at
Going from Dortmund, like Genie as well. Like, there's a ton of players that are saying that we should have never left that family. But I mean, it's such a hard thing. Like, you've got Ox, you've got these guys that played 17 times, Taki 10, 12, 15 times, and they just want to play, right? And so they want to be the man, and Sadio can be the man. Let's see how that plays out in the end, if they will pony up. I think if they come relatively close to the 40-pound mark, I think that's the foregone conclusion.
So I have a question though for both of you guys. Maybe Azaz, you can take it on first. But like, do you think it's the right time for Sadio to leave? Not so much for his own career, but for Liverpool, like from a Liverpool
evolution.
And like where the depth was very celebrated at the end of last season, right? Like, I mean, with Diaz coming in, Jota obviously there, and like the front five as they were being bandied about. And do you think that there's like a bit of life in his Liverpool career because he had such a resurgence at the end? Now with break, no AFCON next year. Oh, but there's a World Cup, I guess. Yeah, okay. But yeah, like, so what do you think about that in terms of the like his Liverpool shelf life? Or, yeah. Is it the right time?
So no, it's not the right time, because I feel like, so I was doing the North End the other day, and I said, look, I want to win the quadruple. They were like, what do you have to do to chase Man City? And I'm like, chase Man City? Like, I want to go for the quadruple next year. Like, big club things. Do you get what I mean? Like, never mind. Like, yeah, sure, they finished above us, but like, we were challenging for 4 things, and I want to challenge for 4 things again. So to challenge for 4 trophies, you need depth. You need a lot of depth. So no, like, it's not the right time. There's no, and I don't even want to say in the consolation is, there's no consolation. The thing that broke today is huge, to be honest with you, because what we don't have is what potentially Darwin Núñez could represent. So, you know, and you'll have read this in the group, in our Liverpool Toronto WhatsApp group. My number 1 attacking target this year is Christopher Nkunku. Like, I think he's a brilliant player. He's a baller. What I love about him is, why it's for better or worse, it's a gift and a curse, but it's like, what's his best position? Like, is he a number 9? Is he a winger? Is he an attacking midfielder? Is he an 8? Like, he can do it all. But that's one of the reasons why I want to buy him. But like, right below him as like 1B for me is Darwin Núñez, because I just want to know what it'll be like to see this team with a guy who's technically, he's a number 9, but he's technically good enough that he doesn't have to be like a big grok number 9, like a Christian Benteke or an Andy Carroll, you know? So like, Darwin Núñez has got the potential to be that. He's got a lot of improvement to make. He's only done it for 1 season. I get all those criticisms. And you know what's really funny is, apparently another bunch of fan bases have started making YouTube videos this year of the stuff he needs to improve upon, like as if world-class players don't hit air shots. They don't hit like air shots and stuff like that. So there is like a few consolations, like you know, Carvalho again. From everything coming out of the club, he's been bought to be an attacker, right? And like, we all have to remember as well that like, Harvey started last year as a starting midfielder, and in those first 4 or 5 games before he got injured against Leeds, he was ranked number 1 in the Premier League for carrying the ball from midfield into attack. So there are things that like kind of compensate for, not for the loss of Sadio, because what I just want to say about Mane is, he is the one who starts it all from like a fresh blood perspective, and there's no question about that. Were there signings that came after him that were more significant? I'm not even going to say yes, there were. What I'm saying is, you can debate that, but what's not debatable is he was the first big signing. And I remember at the time, people were like, why are we not going for Memphis Depay? Why are we not going for, there was another name at that time that was being bandied around, right? And like, you know what, from the very first game against Arsenal, when he cut in on his left and back, it was true love for everybody. And we were just like, this guy
we're like, wow.
Yeah,
he's like total package. Total package.
Wow. Yeah. And the week before that, we whooped Barcelona at Wembley.
Yeah.
And he was unplayable that day. And we
He
know
was
Barca.
unplayable.
Yeah. And we know Barca aren't like defensively amazing.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like you remember the excitement the fan base had of like,
we were like, Grujic scored 2 or something, right? He scored 1 or 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. A lob. One of them was a lob.
Yeah. I remember the lob.
Grujic got a lob. Yeah. So no, it's not the right time. It's gonna hurt. He is forever a Liverpool legend. But I genuinely do think we will move ahead because the head guy is Jurgen. Like, it's not, for us, it's not like a star player. It's not like look at Barcelona. Messi is no longer their like their highlight or their like main player, and they're not the team that they were. We don't have that person. You know, like, sorry, Mo, sorry, Virgil, sorry, Fabinho, sorry, Alisson. You're all world class. We love you all. But like, it is all about Jurgen. And even that parade, like the actual, what's even the word? Like the human genius that he is, like the emotional genius he is, with the whole parade and like the speech he must have given them to like, and did you see how much fun they had? Like, they had
but Calvin Harris DJing in the bus, like, of course.
Even a Liverpool fan. He wasn't even a Liverpool fan, Calvin.
Yeah,
Dua Lipa's from an Arsenal family.
Yeah, exactly.
She's from an Arsenal family, and she's like obsessed with Liverpool. Like, it's ridiculous. And
and seeing those players like Thiago and whatever else in the parade and being like, holy shit, like, wow, now I get it on a different level. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, there's no seat, every seat in Anfield is full, and he's going to feel that. But seeing that street of like 1 million people or whatever that number is, and it's being like, holy shit, I am going to tell everybody I know that this is the dynamic. Like, you're not going to get this anywhere in the world. Like, it's crazy.
It takes something special. Think about that for a second. You just lost the Champions League final the night before, and you show up not expecting like a big thing, you know, maybe a little bit of a thing, and Milner, like Millie, I remember on the bus he had said to Hendo, he's like, this is beyond our, and this is James Milner. He's won everything, leagues, everything, and for him to be even, and so it just speaks to our fan base, because no other club, I think, of our stature would celebrate the team as a collective and everything that we've done, even though we've lost the final. Because some fan bases from very historic teams are very fickle still, right?
And they get disappointed.
They expect that success all the time. Why aren't we winning? Why aren't we, you know? And then they get very sort of like down rabbit holes and live rent free for us, and you know, like all that kind of stuff. But it's like our fan base has that humility to know that this is actually like an amazing season, and we should celebrate this team because the journey was so, like you said, as earlier, so great that they need to be celebrated. Even though, the result last night didn't happen. For them to come out and do that, that's why that's what makes Liverpool a special place, a special club.
And not only that, which was amazing, right? What I really, on top of all of this stuff that we're talking about, the euphoria we felt, I really also enjoyed the women, the promotion. They had their trophy. They had their bus, which is phenomenal. Yes. Like a beautiful thing. Like, they were elated. They're part of this whole movement. They're part of the club, you know, and just having all of those folks on that bus,
vibing on the
buses, and just being free, and then the beers are flowing, and you know, the juice for Sadio and Mo was going on, and whatever else, and it just was all you can ask for as a player. Literally, your whole city, your whole province, your whole area is coming out. Not 40,000, not 50,000, not 60,000, not 100,000, like hundreds of thousands of people, and you're like, this is why I do it. This is why I stay here. This is why I play for this club. This is why I play for the badge. and I'm just seeing it, the flares, the whole city is red. Like, you can't not get away from that. You think that's not going to be ingrained in their memories? Like, even as okay, for argument's sake, Divac's going fine, but he's going to be like, these several years were the best years of my life, like, which will never be forgotten. And he's going to be the legend for so many different reasons, right? But those moments as a player, he's won everything. Be like, you know what, this is, you know, they're so lucky to be coming from, most of them, if not all of them, coming from humble beginnings, to be in a place like this, to experience those life moments that will be cherished forever and a day. Not just them, but their entire families, right? Their families, their parents, their grandparents, the children, whatever
they're
else.
Stunned.
It's
they're
just
stunned.
like, they're like, wow,
they're like,
completely.
They're stunned. Yeah. No, it's crazy.
Okay, last thing. Millie has signed, so
Love it.
we're gonna have one more season of James Milner. Mr. Ribena, yeah.
I love the fact that, you know, he's he could go, he could play. What's he gonna play? Okay, knock on wood. Knock on wood, nobody gets injured, and he's going to play his moments here and there. But he can go back home to Leeds, and he can go to other teams. He can play. He's the fittest guy on the team. He is the fittest guy on the team. Mr. Ribena is the fittest guy on the team. And he's like, I don't want to leave this family. I want to stay here. I love this. I love the coach. I love the family. I love the people in the cafeteria. I love the people here. I love everyone. I love the physio. I love everyone. And I don't want to be. And I want him to please, like, kind of want him to kind of progress into that kind of player coach kind of dynamic, like go do the U9s or go do the U12s or go do somebody, like, you know.
He was offered more money, right, by Newcastle and Villa, I think, too, right?
And Leeds,
Leeds. Sorry, it was Leeds too. Yeah. No, I mean, Millie's contract, I think, is no brainer. I think he actually genuinely enjoys working with Jurgen. And, like, obviously with Hendo and the rest of the boys, Robbo and stuff like that, he has really good bonds with all of them. But hey, hold on, guys. Check out my background. What about that guy? He might be re-signing.
Maybe that's for another show. Maybe. It's what's going to be very interesting is when we recap transfers, we recap and see how much money is going to go out the door and the players that are going to go out the door. What we will need to refresh and how many people we need to refresh. And then what we do, what actual work we do over the course of the summer to
easy there, Netspan. Easy there.
No, I mean, you know, it's going to be like we've got Carvalho, right? Like there's a lot of rumors for Aberdeen kid Ramsey and a few others, right, to build up the stocks, you know, from the youngsters. But you know, if Ox leaves, Taki leaves, this person, that person, you know, maybe even Kelleher, who knows? There's tons of folks that could be generating 40, 50 mil, and then, you know, that's half of Nunez. Right, so who knows how that plays out?
But I just had this thought come into my mind as does this like make your eyes light up or mouth water? Like Trent curling in a ball to Nunez,
100%.
or like Robbo, or like and it's like now we have that, like, not to say like Jota played freaking amazing with his head this season. They tailed off a little bit, but I mean, hey, you can't fault them for how many matches they've played, but. Yeah, that's an exciting prospect. Hopefully we can get it over the line. But
Well, I think one of the cool things when we start to review the season step by step, I think we go back and watch at least the highlights of some of those games. It's going to come to the core how much we almost like forget what Jota did for us at earlier parts of the season. Like we were like, you know, almost like they conditioned him, particularly for when Sadio and Mo would be away, and he rose to the occasion, right? And like even after that, though, like, you know, there was the Arsenal Cup games, but then even the Arsenal goal where the song came from was from the league, right? And I'm expecting more big things from him as well. Like I feel like when we signed him, everyone was like, all the Wolves fans were like, oh, he's streaky, cool. Well, he's had an off streak. So like, let's go back to like the on streak now moving forward as well. But last point about Millie. So now he is officially Liverpool's James Milner. Like that's because
because more
played for so many.
That's good.
54 appearances for Leeds, 136 for Newcastle, 126 for Villa, 203 for Man City. Then obviously with our 60 odd games this year, he's now at 289 for Liverpool. Not that he played them all, but
that's
still.
a lot of appearances.
Yeah. So of his 814 appearances, 289 are for us. And like Dan, the statistician in the group, will be able to tell you that's over a third. Over a third of his career he played at Liverpool, which is amazing. And he's won everything. He's won every trophy with Liverpool. So another legend.
One of the best free transfers. Thank you very much. Free transfer.
Yes.
But one last thing on the Nunez things. I'm hoping, because I hear this, I'm reading this rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, that could he be a close second coming of Suarez? I don't know, but anyways, I'm just putting that out there.
On that point, sorry, really quickly, mentality matters. I know we talked about it. Jurgen talks about it. But if you look at everything, if you want to weave a thread through our success, through our performances, through everything, our manager's mindset, our players' mindset, Sadio leaving, Sadio as a player, everything is about mentality. And I think that's the biggest shift. Our fan base has experienced that too, by the way, mentality of like expecting now to win, or at least not ever giving up, never give up. And like that's the biggest thing. And I that's what I feel like we're going to miss a little bit with Sadio leaving. But I think, as Jake said, like Nunez brings Uruguayan blood and South American never give up. And so like that, if that comes here too, along with his skills and his talent and all that kind of stuff, man,
I just want just short of biting someone's ear. That's the level that I want.
That's the level.
Just short of biting someone's ear is the move, and that's all I'm asking for.
So just like he tries,
short,
but he misses.
Just short. Maybe you can snap at the ear. I just want him to bite it, or the shoulder, or whatever. Can snap at it. But that kind of level of intensity and love for the club.
On that note,
on that note, like, subscribe, share.
I don't know if people are gonna like that comment. Anyway.
It is what it is. We got to keep it interesting. We got to keep it hot this summer, right? Got to keep it hot.
Keep it hot.
See you guys next week.
Yes.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Peace. Bye.
As always, big thing.